I imagine there's a lot of things you may want to ask me. I'm a little bit just speaking off the top here, but I'm sure there's questions you may have. I'll take the rest of the time. Yeah, go ahead.
Considering you running for the House of Representatives,
Yes.
considering the power of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, even if you get in with the very best of intentions, do you feel that your power would be so badly subsumed by the Speaker of the House as to prevent you being able to speak out?
No, because there's nothing to restrict a representative from saying anything they want to say. The party may not like it. There are ideas that, and yes, there's compromise, of course, but there's absolutely no reason why I can't get on the floor of Congress, or any elected official who's in Congress, to get on the floor and say, my constituents want to address an issue. There's nothing preventing them from doing that. There's nothing preventing us from a bill I would like to see, just as an example. Why don't we have a bill in Congress that says, for every dollar, the percentage, when the government misses the budget, we spent $1.1 trillion more in 2012 than we were supposed to. It was a 47% shortfall, which is substantial. Why don't we have a bill that says, if we miss by 47%, Congress loses 47% of their pay? Why can't a representative go out there, make that speech, and say, vote on this? Let's bring this to a vote. What are they going to say? No. Why? Because what are you going to tell your constituents? I think that's a bad idea. I don't think I should be held accountable for the fact that we have made a government that is running in a deficit that is going by trillions, and quite honestly, the second we have interest rates reach the same level they have historically been, 6.25%, not 0.25 they are now, we're looking at a growth of over $7 trillion in less than 4 years, on top of the $16.4 trillion we have right now. Is that unsustainable? Absolutely. And that goes by every single proposal out there now. I don't care if it's Democrat, conservative, Republican, liberal, everyone is projecting an unsustainable debt. Well, guess what? Let's take half that. You can't make the budget work. Fantastic. Take half that pay, or whatever the percentage is, and let's put it back to the IRS. Not as a gimmick, like President Obama did recently, because he feels our pain, but because it's something serious that he's done.
$20,000.
Oh yeah, I love his $20,000.
I'm going to donate this money, $20,000, but you just spent $7 million on vacation? Really?
I have a better thing. No, there's a better thing. There's a better thing. This is part of a discount. I have just given up 20% of my pay, and I got my staff to give up whatever 5% of their pay, most of them all being millionaires. And don't I look fantastic? This is why you voted for me. Okay, but wait a minute, Mr. President. When you were elected, it was 2009, the first day you walked in. The nation was in a recession. The recession got worse. When did you donate your money? He's been a millionaire since before he got elected.
And you never held a job?
Never held a job. Never made a donation, not one dime, to the IRS. In fact, there's only one congressman that I know of who did. But these are the things that need to be said. These are the things that need to be addressed. This is part of the reason why I would want to run, to make sure that these things are said and they are addressed, because they need to be. Government needs to be accountable to the people. Someone else have a question? I think someone else in the back have one?
Well, I'll actually just ask them. There's a new phase. You could redirect the conversation. The Second Amendment, for example, and the current issue of confiscatory taxes. Remember that guy, Paul Revere? Why were the British coming? Individually, house by house, to search for weapons. Right? To pay the taxes. Once the weapons are gone, you can confiscate the property, recreate feudalism. We don't have no jobs, we can't pay the mortgages, you're going to lose your property.
I understand.
Earlier, the gentleman on immigration, that was part of how I was going to talk about some writer on like a new class of loans to the new immigrants. But we won't go The other thing is, there's very important, especially because the conversation has completely gone on to crime. Tragic crimes, I mean, crime is down. When the Constitution was written, horrific crimes occurred. Violent crime in this country is down. Yet, nationally, we face currently the prospect of the articulation of China and Korea. For 3,000 years, China has used a proxy when it initiates war. If you look at that map, I remember in Quantico, we had the nuclear warfare classes, EMPs. You look at that map of Korea, Hawaii, San Diego, and San Antonio. 1,500-mile EMP. One explosion anywhere in the United States, the nation goes down. 72 hours. That's the issue that we should be addressing with confiscation and Second Amendment.
I understand how you feel about the Second Amendment. I strongly feel that we need to have a strong Second Amendment. Right now, I am a criminal, as are probably many of you. Because if you read the New York Safe Act, the firearm you owned yesterday is illegal now. You haven't done anything wrong. You didn't create some new action or go out there to endanger anyone. Sitting in your house in your gun safe, there for your protection, God forbid, if it ever needs to be done. And now you're a criminal because that weapon, which mine happens to be a shotgun, is now classified as an assault weapon. There are numbers on that, by the way. Did you know that if they passed this legislation nationwide, do you know what the drop would be in mass shootings? Mass shootings classified by the FBI. 4 or more people being shot and killed in the same event at one time. There have been...
All the rest of them,
Yes, but there's about 20 of them per year. About 100 people killed per year. This is going back to 1980. 20 people per year are killed in a mass shooting. In that entire time, going forward, about 25% of those have been by assault weapons. They're not talking about handguns, but they're talking about assault weapons these days. And if you were to enact all these laws and legislations, the total reduction in the number of people who would be killed, 0.2%, works out to just about 6 people per year, if they pass the laws exactly as they want. So they're not talking about really making it safer. The goal right now is, in my belief, as I've written about it, is that this is a means to an end.
making it slave for 26.
It's horrible what happened. It is horrible. It is unconscionable, without question. But you know what? It's not about the unconscionable actions in Connecticut. This is about changing law that cannot be changed otherwise. Because if you took away the emotion of it, no one would agree. I know, I'm running out of time.
So, yeah, we have one more speaker.
Oh, well, you said something.
The idea of gun registration is simply to arm the internal security force that our president mentioned in his inauguration address. I think the first one he had. And the second part of my comment is, if you invite a number of guests to a $34,200 dinner, which part of the dinner would you have to give up for the $20,000 you donated? Food for thought.
I object to that statement that many use, that starting today, we are criminals under New York state law. A constitutional right cannot be taken away, even if the law is written.
Yes.
So where we exercise our constitutional rights, yeah, an abusive and overpowering government can do something about it, but we are not criminals under the Constitution.
No.
We can't continue to use that terminology. We have to tell the truth even in public. Don't call us criminals.
No, I don't mean to call anyone criminal. And I understand your point. And yes, I agree with you. But my point is to use what they are stating. This is the impression that's out in the public. And we have to, while we can say this is wrong, we also have to address and realize the severity. This is the severity that most people don't understand and has not been communicated. This is what the law is trying to do. And that's what we need to make aware. But we'll have more chances to speak, and I look forward to having that opportunity with all of you. Please, just get in touch with you.
Yeah, if anyone wants any more information on it,